Hello explorers and welcome to our first reaction of Tales of the Empire. As always, I'm joined by Jimmy.
Howdy.
And we're going to be covering the first arc of Morgan Elsbeth. Just to start us off then, little Easter egg, we've got the path of fear, the path of anger, the path of hate. Again, what do all these paths lead to, Jimmy?
The dark side.
The dark side, indeed, which I thought was a fantastic Easter egg to lead up to Barriss Offrey as well. But before we jump into that arc, Path of Fear, what did we think with the opening scene?
Well, the opening scene, I mean, flashbacks of Clone Wars. I want to know where planet they're on. Like, because, I mean, that's not the Night Sisters. That's not Merrin and Asajj. Like, that's a different clan, right? So my big thing is I want to know what planet. But man, that fight scene was awesome. You feel bad. I mean, you know, the Night Sisters aren't necessarily like the best people in the world, but you do still feel bad when you see Grievous and his robot or his droids wiping everybody out. What about you?
Yeah, no, they clean straight through them. I thought it was Dathomir, but just a different part of Dathomir. So I think that's what they're trying to open up.
That's what I don't know. Like, because like then you have the clan sisters or whatever, the Mountain Clan.
Yeah, the Mountain Clan. So that to me would make sense if they're trying to open it up.
Yeah, and then maybe that's like the desolation of Dathomir is because of what Grievous has done.
Yeah, who knows? Interesting to bring in the Clan Mountain stuff. That's the only reason I thought it could be Dathomir still, is obviously each clan's looking out for each other. I absolutely love the opening scene though, with all the battles. Grievous. I've seen another side of Grievous in this one. He seemed to me a bit more bulky, a bit more, menacing in this.
I feel like he looked a little bit more like the... I've never watched the original Clone Wars cartoon or episodes. I've actually saw that they're on Disney+, so that's on my list to go back and kind of rip through those. But he kind of had... His head kind of looked like more like that version, and I thought it looked different. I thought everyone looked a little bit different, but I think it's fun. Like, I don't everything to be the same. Like, people change, and it's cool that they do it. But yeah, I thought so too. Bulky, then just psycho. Run.
Yeah, I love that. That would be what would terrify anybody. Especially
oh my god! Yeah, his droid voice, and then he's just like rah, and then you got those commando droids looking for you.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, his little I say is cheap, but again, people have never met Grievous before, and he's using 4 arms instead of 2. She's like, right, I've got third arm.
Did you kind of get lulled into it, like?
Yeah.
Not thinking about it, and all of a sudden, whack! And I was like, "Oh yeah, he's got 2 more arms."
yeah, literally. I thought that was great. It's such a good little battle as well. Again, everything's been wrote by Dave Filoni, and they've all got different directors. This one was Nathaniel Villeneuve, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah,
but they've done a great job of drawing you in and sort of giving you those little reminders. Again, Grievous's arms. The relentlessness as well of the sisters, even when the Mountain Clan take her in, she still wants to go back and she still wants to fight and take on an entire army.
And I think that's important for the next season of Ahsoka or wherever the Thrawn movie. I think that's important to remember because if that's what's driving, and I have some questions we'll talk about, but I think you're right. Their relentlessness, and we've seen that through all of them. The characters we get to be close with, but yeah, man, they don't stop. And they'd be awesome Jedi, they'd be terrifying Sith, but I mean they're great Night Sisters too. So I love that. I love that about them. Yeah, and the fight scenes, like the martial arts in that. Like I'm wondering if Diana Insanto had like her hand in some of that. I mean, her dad's obviously super famous for having taught Bruce Lee and worked with him and stuff like that. And she's obviously an amazing martial artist. And then to have those fight scenes with those weapons and things like that, like very, Asian inspired fight battles. And just, man, I was eating it up. And I got up early. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you and I could record. So I was feeling it though, being up at 6 in the morning, usually I'm up, but I'm not usually trying to focus on anything too specific.
It was a fantastic start to the series. I thought more of this, please, definitely. Yeah, the fighting was unbelievable. Very interesting at the end of that episode with the the Mountain Clan, I'm going to say mother, with her, I'm going to say a force ability or magic or whatever that was.
Yeah.
So she's extremely powerful, and she did make me sort of ponder as well when she said she turned around to him and told her that she pities her because she can see her path. You know, she tried to steer her towards a lot, but not change her destiny. So that, again, these little things to me, are these just different Night Sisters on Dathomir? That's
Oh, I
really
think so. I think, well, it's just like, with phase 2 of the High Republic, all those different religions we saw in the comics and everyone being on Jeddah. I think they're exploring that a little bit more now, and even looks like Dave's involved in it, And of course, the Night Sisters are always a different version of it, but yeah, to see like the Night Sisters, but good, the Mountain Clan, the mother, and I love that. Just because I don't want to fight doesn't mean I can't.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a good.
And I love that. It reminds me of, you ever see the movie Quigley Down Under?
No.
Tom Selleck. Oh my gosh! So the whole movie, he's like, I don't like pistols. I don't like pistols. And then at the end, he pops the bad guy, and he's like, didn't say I can't use it. I just said I don't like them. So that was the first thing that popped into my head. Nice. But I thought that was an awesome line. I choose not to fight, but doesn't mean I can't. So I think that's important moving forward as well.
Yeah, and just speaking about moving forward, we spoke about Thrawn just briefly there. The next episode then, Path of Hate. Again, same writer, same director. This time we saw where the TIE Defender come from, which I thought was interesting. And Classic Empire, they weren't really interested in costs or the actual TIE Defender itself, more of the resources. Again, as soon as you found out where they all come from, the resources, they, off they went. And then it was good to see, oh God, what was his name? Is he an admiral at that point? Was he a captain? Pelona?
Paleon?
Paleon, that's how you say it. Yeah.
I wonder where Eli Vanto's at, dang it. I want to see Eli.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good to see him. And then obviously it goes down to Corvus, which we've seen from Ahsoka. The people turn against her. She's not really, she's trying to do the best that she can, I think. I think she's just lost at this point. That's the feeling I got on this episode.
I think she's lost until the very end of Ahsoka.
Yes.
I think.
And it was really good to see. I don't know if you remember him. So the bounty hunter that came after Ruka, he was in the Clone Wars as well, wasn't he? Because he got given... What did he get given? He got given something to smell or taste or something. And he chased down... I want to say Ahsoka. I can't remember, but he was in the Clone Wars as well.
Yeah, the Rook was also a big part of
Rebels, actually.
Yeah, Rebels.
He was in Rebels, not Clone Wars. Yes.
I think Ezra or somebody gets him at the end. That big fight on Lothal, I believe. I'd have to go back and watch it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see him kind of tie everything together. This would be when Thrawn's chasing like Ezra and them, I think, right? It'd be close to it because he's trying to push that TIE Defender program. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Thrawn looked like a stud, didn't he? Like he's super animated in Rebels and kind of cartoonish, but in this, it's like he just looked more. He looked better in this, I thought, than he did in Ahsoka or in Rebels. Like I thought, that's menacing. That looks like Timothy Zahn's Thrawn from the cover of those first 3 now Legends books. But I thought he looked really cool. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. I think the reason as well is at this point now really is at his height, is at the pinnacle of his career before he starts to go down, so to speak. Like you said, I think it's just before he tackles with Ezra. It was good to see the Empire as well, how they're all still digging at each other, taking resources off each other to trying to get a leg up. Because it all ties back into the Bad Batch stuff. Moff Tarkin's taking resources straight away. Now Admiral Thrawn's taking resources straight away.
Yeah, I just don't understand how, I get it, the Emperor's just an evil dude, and that's what he wants to... But, man, if with their resources that they actually worked together, nobody would ever... It'd be the Galactic Empire for eternity if they could actually work together and not be so worried about climbing up over top of each other. But that shows you, when it's not an organization worth fighting for, you're just looking out for yourself. Just think about Rampart. Right, and how he went down. Just still to the end. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it did make me laugh. And then obviously we go on to the last one, The Path of Hate. Again, exactly the same writer and director. And I think this time you see her fully embrace the idea of the Empire, because obviously the New Republic comes down. She's not having any of it. She knows Thrawn's out there somewhere, because obviously this is I'm guessing not long before Ahsoka arrives on the planet in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, because the way it ends, it looks like it's... Because I was wondering about that when I saw like all those trees. It looks nice, and then she becomes the a-hole that she is when we see her in Mando season 2, and then Ahsoka, of course.
Yeah, and you see now she's got a good firm grip on everything. Like you said, it ties in with the burnt trees, because I think when he arrives on the planet in season 2, I think it's all smouldering, so it can't be that long afterwards. Which is good. It's good to see as well that some of the live action characters from the show are in the animated series as well.
I love that. I love seeing Wing. I didn't know that was his name till watching this, but just being able to jump in and out of animation into live action. I think that's the way to do it, though. Go animate or live action, and then you can go animation with the voice actors, and it's almost kind of more believable because you can base those characters off of those people. And I feel like, you get the whole Bo-Katan situation where it's all based off of how Katie Sackhoff looked in the first place. But then of course, you have like the Ahsoka situation where you can't use Ashley Eckstein because she looks nothing like the character. But if they could do that, man, they could do all kinds of stories to fill in gaps, and because I have so many more questions after these Tales episodes. Though it's almost like J.J. Abrams was behind this and pulling the strings and just more questions, mystery box.
You spoke about Bo-Katan as well. She had a little Easter egg in it where she was trying to ask who was there on the communicator.
And is that showing how like she knows that Ahsoka was there? Like the last time I saw her, we were on Corvus, so that means they're all going to Corvus for some reason.
Yeah. So that
interesting.
ties in. That ties in. But like you mentioned there, for me, as a whole of these 3 episodes from Morgan Elsbeth, it still left me with questions. I'm still not 100% what she's trying to do by helping the Empire to get revenge.
She doesn't. I don't think she understands that the Separatists and Grievous are the Empire now. I feel like because it does not make sense to me.
Yeah, same.
And I was going to ask you. I was glad that you brought that up because that was the whole thing. The whole time I'm watching, I want to get revenge. Revenge. You're trying to strengthen the group that wiped you out.
Yes.
I don't know if from the inside out. You're not going to do that. Yeah, I don't understand that aspect of it. Still, I don't think it's a flaw in the writing. I think Dave has something planned.
Of course.
But like you say, with Dave we trust, but. It is weird because it's been ongoing and now her character's gone.
Yeah.
So I wonder, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's all I can think of. Every time she says, "Why do you want to work for the Empire?" I'm like, "Yes, please tell me why you want to work for the." I want to know too.
But even with that, Thrawn's not stupid, as we know. So he knows that she's after revenge. But even he knows that the Separatists have to be part of the Empire. Surely,
Yeah.
There's a few loose ends, and I was going to say anyway, so just to rate those first 3 episodes, for me, I absolutely loved them all. Again, it left me more questions than answers, and it confused me quite a bit, if I'm honest. So if anyone's listening out there and they sort of understand it better, or there's something that me and Jimmy have missed, please, by all means, let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm kind of lost with it, with the terms of what she's still actually helping the Empire for. I get to an extent that she wants power, but I don't know, I still feel like there's a hidden motive, but yeah. Out of all 3 episodes, again, I absolutely loved them all. The Path of Hate was the one from. In fact, no, I'd probably say the first one. The first episode, Path of Fear, for me was the better one. Just seeing the Grievous back as well, handing out the beatings to everybody as he did, and seeing the Night Sisters and opening up Dathomir a bit more. So for me, yeah, I enjoyed the first 3. What about you, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, I would put if you sit there and you're going to rank all these shows now that we've got 4 different categories. I still think the Dooku stuff might be my favorite from Tales of the Jedi, but I would put this probably above the Ahsoka stuff because we actually needed this information. I love Ahsoka, but this was pretty awesome. And that, like you said, that first episode, the fight scene, flashbacks from Clone Wars, just seeing that, and then kind of seeing the Mountain Clan opens up a lot of questions as well. There's more stuff there to discover and to dive into. So yeah, I loved them. Thought it was great. I can't wait to watch it when I'm not tired. And fully awake, fully functioning.
Sweet. Okay, so now then, with Morgan out the way, we'll have a look at Barriss. Again, all written by Dave Filoni. three different directors on this. You got Sal Ruiz, Stuart Lee, and again finishing it up was Nathaniel Villanueva. How did you pronounce that one, Jimmy?
Villanueva.
Villanueva. There we go. Okay, so first episode then for Barris was Devoted. How did it make you feel, Jimmy? Because I know you've got a bit of a grudge against Barris.
Well, it's hard not to give away how I feel about this whole arc. I did like the arc. I really enjoyed it. I guess I wasn't ready for how it ended.
Yeah.
But I also have to remember, too, though, and I think it's important, and this is why I'm not writing for Star Wars, because it was going a whole new way if I had been behind the helm. It would have been about 10 seconds long. Anakin would have walked in, smoked her, and end of arc. But so, but when she did what she did in the Clone Wars, even though she was a coward, she was trying to do something she believed was right.
Yeah.
And I think that comes through better now than it did in Clone Wars, because you're hurting Ahsoka, and but I don't know. I thought it was cool, and then what is it? Seventh sister? What is that? What is that sister's name?
Fourth
sister.
Lynn.
I mean, we raged on her during the Kenobi stuff because she did absolutely nothing. She had zero. So now we know why, because she's about as incompetent as it gets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. It was cool to see it. This is the one I wanted to see. I'm shocked that they did it, because this ends a lot of speculation, because every time someone's in a helmet or a mask or something, it's Barriss Offee. Every single time. So now we'll have to find someone new.
That you brought that up there, but I'll come on to that in a bit and make you laugh even more. Because to me, I don't think.
But yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah, it was really good. It's really insightful on the Inquisitor way as well. And obviously you only see a brief snippet of the training. There's a lot more in Rise of the Red Blade, I think the book was called, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more Inquisitor stuff in that, if that's what people are after. But no, it's good. I thought it was very interesting to see that she could sort of hear and feel all the screaming and that going on in the Jedi Temple. And then she looks out the window and she can see stuff going on. And obviously you've got your clone troopers outside saying it's a good job you're not a Jedi anymore. She sort of puts one on one together, I think. And then you mentioned about the fourth sister coming down the steps, giving her a choice. And you got the two other guys as well that are with her. One opts not to stick around, even though he was advised not to leave the cell. They didn't call it cell, did they? They call it quarters to begin with.
Yeah.
And then obviously a piece of him makes it back.
Yes.
Really, really good to see Vader coming back in. When they all meet at the Lord once she's passed all the trial bit. It's good to see Marek, the unknown Inquisitor that Ahsoka killed in Tales of the Jedi. Again, we're still waiting out for a name for him or her.
Did you see his in the opening though? Did you see that they've added him to the helmets, to the buckets?
Yes.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was another thing I picked up on. There's a few new helmets on that intro, isn't there, as well?
Yeah. I noticed that one. I don't know if I've noticed anything different, but I definitely noticed his.
Yeah. And then, it finished up with Barriss obviously taking the helm, saying for the Empire. And that was pretty much that episode in a nutshell. Then the next one was Realization, which literally is her realising what she's got herself into. They went to the village looking for the Jedis. Apparently no one knew where they were. And then you can see the real difference here, I think, where she's still not quite turned. And Lynn, the fourth sister's completely turned.
Yeah,
I don't know the background. I can't remember any background about the fourth sister off the top of my head for Lynn.
I think she's introduced for this arc and for, as an Inquisitor, they just kind of created her. I don't think we've ever seen her in anything else. Yeah. I'm sure we probably will now. And I'm at the Rise of the Red Blade where she's getting trained. So I don't know if she's in that at all or not. The main character is being trained. Iskat is being trained.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping to see her, like a flash of her or something, like just walking in the background. I thought that would be cool. But, I don't know. I think Lynn is just one of those ones that just kind of integrated seamlessly into the the canon.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then obviously in this episode again, you see the brutality of the Inquisitors because she feels like she's been lied to or deceived, so to speak. The Barriss is still used still used the Jedi way in a way to get what she wants. You know, she hasn't really intimidated the child. She took her helmet off, etc. Got the information, and then obviously everyone got slaughtered apart from the child, which she protected. Told them not to look back, and away they went into the mountain. There wasn't a great deal of stuff, I'd say, in this episode. It was more of a, I think at this point, like the episode says, realization, but there is a massive difference between Barriss and obviously the fourth sister.
I don't agree with Barriss, and again, I can't reiterate enough that this is not how I wanted Barriss' story to end. But she still is a Jedi, and I think I'm not saying anybody else, I have forgotten that, given how her arc ended in Clone Wars. And you can kind of see it, the difference. And I think that her having that helmet is kind of like, dark side or Jedi. If she takes it off, who she is when she puts it on. She's trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure out why she had to wear one and Lynn didn't have to. But now I understand it when she throws it off the top of the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point to go straight into. Obviously, as the battle at the end, like you said there, she force pushes Lynn off the mountain, to which she survives miraculously. And yeah, she realises she's still a Jedi at that point. She's still got the morals, the training, the code, and gets rid of the helmet. Interesting who the Jedi that she picked up was. I'm not quite sure who that was supposed to be. I did think at first it was Quinlan, but then obviously it's not Quinlan.
I thought maybe it was Reva for a second as well, like was that how they get her? But it wasn't. Like, I don't think. Did they ever even say a name?
No, there's no name given or nothing. But yeah, strange one, but it was a good episode again. I thought really good fight scenes as well. And it did show as well how powerful Barriss is with the Force, which is evident throughout the arc itself. And then that leads us into the final episode. Again, this one I really enjoyed the way out, and then this is more about her showing the fourth sister. There's a way out of the Empire here that you don't have to be in the dark side, which was very interesting.
Well done with the ice cave, like the metaphor, and then laying it out there for kids too. We're watching this, but we also have younger generation. Your kids are going to watch it. They may not pick up on the way out, but they'll see she's lost and Barriss helps her kind of thing,
Yeah.
And I thought that was really clever to kind of marry those two ideas and put it together in a physical form and then, of course, in a spiritual form as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think she'd been training some people. Those two people that were helping her. At first, I thought it was the family from the Bad Batch, the little furball creature that gets taken away.
Yeah.
I thought that was the dad or something, because you don't see the dad, do you, in the Bad Batch? You only see the mum and the baby. So I don't know if that was the same species or whatever. Looking at the Easter eggs for that. And then obviously, they moved into the cave. She's roaming around. She starts getting her hair off. They get away easily as well. I was quite surprised at that, how easy it was for them to get in the ship and go. But obviously, like you said, the clever writing behind it, the bigger picture is her getting out of the Empire, and obviously it finishes up with Barriss. Again, I think she not wanted to die or was ready to die. Or I think she might have thought this is what needs to happen.
Kind of feel like she's gone through her Kenobi transition where, she's out, and I think it was kind of clever because at the very first episode, she's trying to fight the Grand Inquisitor, and he's like, your anger gives you power. He's like, you're holding back. And he's not using a lightsaber. He's got his hands behind his back, and he's just being casual. And then she obviously it's been years. They've aged her, haircut, call her what they called the Great Mother or something like that. But then she's doing the same thing, but the opposite to fourth sister. And it's like, your anger is clouding your judgment. It makes you predictable. I mean, it was the same exact line. I thought that was really, really well done. And I kind of started coming around to Barriss not sucking at life. So, but we'll see. I'll have to watch it one or two more times before I'm ready to forgive. But yeah, I thought that was a really clever line. And then, of course, I think more questions. They're really pushing the path.
Big time.
I think when she says an old friend, I'm assuming it's Ahsoka.
I thought Ahsoka.
I thought we were going to get a little teaser at the very end of maybe what was what is the guy's name from the Path or from Kenobi? That's like the Path. He's like the leader. It's
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about.
Ice Cube's son. I can't think of his name.
Yes.
Dang
Yeah,
it! But I thought maybe we'd see his character, like they'd show up there, or
yeah.
Quinlan would be there, or Asajj, or something. But it just that was where I'm like, like
I've just got
these
this
things
vision
give you
of like a cave full of exiled Jedi's hiding.
yeah. So I think they're doing, and they're really setting up this path. Like
Yeah,
it's a little bit in. It's been in everything now.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're just kind of sprinkling it around, and I would be shocked if it doesn't come back into play for the Thrawn movie.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get your Avengers
It's
type.
all lining up to something, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to be because I mean they
For
just keep
sure.
using it, and they don't say it out loud. They say it enough that if they don't want to use it, they don't have to. Like they could have easily just been sending her to an old friend. You know,
Yeah.
Varys has obviously come around full circle. Should be probably a Jedi Master at this point. You know, and so she's probably made peace and reconciled with people she's hurt. So it could be anybody, but
Yeah.
as Star Wars fans, we can't let it just be anybody.
Yeah,
gotta
well, we
be
know it's not
Ahsoka, or it's gotta
Luminara.
Oh, ouch!
She's gone.
So,
But yeah, overall, again, another really good arc. Really enjoyed it. More questions and answers as always, which is fantastic. Really good fight scenes, but I really enjoyed it. The biggest point I think you mentioned, Jimmy, is the bigger picture on this. You know, the full circle shown and the complete equals and opposites Sith and Jedi. Yeah, I really loved it. I think it's my favourite out of the two. What about you, Jimmy?
yeah, this is definitely my favorite out of the two, and I'll probably put this second overall out of the four that we've got now. The four storylines that we've got. I'll still Dooku. I don't know what it is about that Dooku one. I think it's like seeing Mace and seeing Qui-Gon and seeing Yaddle, and just seeing why Dooku becomes the way he is.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. But I'd say Dooku, and then this one, and then probably Morgan Elsbeth, and then Ahsoka's for me. But yeah, I loved it. This is great. I hope we get one of these every May the 4th. Like, because that's
Yeah,
when
it'd be
is that
fantastic,
when the last one came out?
I think it was around that time. I think it was June, yeah, because obviously we were celebrating starting the podcast up, and it was one of the first things we went into. So yeah, you're probably
No,
right.
that's right. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, that's our reactions for Tales of the Empire. As always, if you're not with us, please search us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Explore the Force. All one word. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Join the club. There's loads of us. It's growing absolutely rapidly. And as always, make sure you check out our shows on Spotify and YouTube. So, from myself then, may the Force be with you.
Yes, and for all of us, happy May the 4th, and we have spoken.